Welcome to Talmudic Treasures. Today we're learning Subos page 87, which discusses a situation where a Ketubot is $1,000. And the husband says that I paid off the entire Ketubot. And she says, well, you're partially correct. You only gave me $100. And therefore you owe me the balance. You still owe me $900. So this is what's called a pogemes ksuba. In this case, she is able to collect the other $900, but she first needs to make an oath to be able to swear that that is in fact what happened in court, and only then will she be able to collect the $900. And the question is, why? Why is it necessary for her to make an oath? This, as the Talmud explains, is not a biblical obligation, but a rabbinical enactment. And the reason for this is because typically, when you have two parties, one person who owes the other money, so the one who is giving out the money, that person is very particular. When they give out the money that they have, they're counting $1, $2, so on and so forth. And therefore, they're very exact. And therefore, it's more likely in this situation, the man who is the one that's giving out the money is probably giving a more accurate statement. The person who is on the receiving end may not necessarily be as careful in the count of the money that's in hand. And therefore, we will require her to make an oath in court in which a person's not going to do so unless they're 100% confident that in fact it's the case, as they were very, very particular not to make false oaths, which are something which is very, very wrong and a huge, huge crime according to the Torah that a person just would not do. So because of that, we will require her to make this oath so that she will be 100% confident when she collects this money, and then therefore subsequently, when she claims the other 900, she'll be exact. But we see from here a very interesting concept when it comes to money. The person who's giving out money, you go to a store and you buy something. So one of the things that I often do is I will, let's say, buy something, let's say a drink, and it costs $1. I will not just give them a $20 bill. I'll actually tell them, here is a $20 bill I am giving you. And the reason is because they're so busy, and they may just be thinking it's a $1 bill, and they'll stick it into their cash register. All of a sudden, I have a big problem because I know I gave a 20. I'm very, very particular to make sure that they know that this is what's being given. And this is the whole idea, that when a person is parting from the money that they have, because they have an emotional connection to it, therefore it's something in which is harder to do, and therefore every penny that they give out is going to be accounted for. The person who receives the money may not necessarily be as aware. And therefore, when it comes to financial sense as well, we understand that a person who has money, it's much harder to part from it. And therefore, because of that, when it comes to, for example, in business, when it comes to spending money, one of the advice that's given to students and young adults, and maybe to older adults, is to be careful with a credit card. Because with a credit card, you don't think about you spending the money, and therefore you may spend it frivolously. However, if you actually instead use cash, it's much harder to spend a lot of that money because you realize I'm spending $1, $10, $20. And just like we see from this in the Talmud, when it comes to giving out money, one is much more precise.